Hey, welcome to another episode of Books and Booze. We are on season 2, and we're just finishing that up. Jessica usually does this part. I'm like, oh shit, what am I supposed to say? So I'm going to say, hey, how's it going? Marie, it's your turn.
Hey everyone, welcome back for Books and Booze. Tonight we have Kate Fraser. Hey Kate, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am great. I would love to learn a little bit about you and the book you are promoting tonight. What got you to read? Where are you from? Do you have any pets and what are their names?
Okay, so I am from Central Pennsylvania. I've lived here most of my life. I was actually born in Florida, but I live here now. I'll answer the pets question first. I have 5. We have a boxer pit lab mix, and if you're from my insurance company, no, you're not. He's just a boxer mix. That's all. His name is Calcifer. He is like the sweetest dog on the face of the planet. And then we have 4 cats. We have Sookie. She is a long-haired tortie, and she is a polydactyl. She has like extra fingers.
Little thing, yeah.
Yep. And then we have Rory, who's a tuxedo. And just to clarify, I did not name them Rory and Sookie from Gilmore Girls. It is Sookie from True Blood and Rorschach from The Watchmen. And then we have Trinket. He is our little orange tiger cat. And then I thumbed my nose at the cat distribution system back in September whenever we had a mama and 5 kittens in our carport. And because I chose not to take any of those cats in, Merlin, our baby, showed up on our doorstep about 3 days before Thanksgiving. He was about 6 weeks old at the time, so he's still just a little baby, and he loves to give aggressive loves right around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, so he'll probably jump up here and like start chewing on my face. And he is a sandy long-haired cat, and we suspect that he's got some Maine Coon in him because he is huge.
I have a Maine Coon. They are so sweet, but grumpy, and if they want to like attack you, like they're mauling, they will take flesh.
Yes, they absolutely. But he's perfect. I also have 3 small children, and the baby just turned 1, and Merlin is like, he's absolutely vicious with everybody else, but he is just so gentle with the baby, and like, it's the cutest darn thing that I've ever seen. So, but I love him. And then a little bit about my book. I'm going to be talking about Bound by Chance. I currently have 4 books, 3 novellas and a full-length novel out. But Bound by Chance, the full-length novel, is the one I'm going to be talking about. Like a little bit about my reading. I was an avid reader like up through high school, and then like whenever it starts to get forced on you when you're in like high school and college, it's like, I don't really want to read for fun. And then once I had my kids, like I became like a hermit, especially because like my middle was born in 2020. So like it was at the height of the pandemic. Yeah. And so I started reading one of those pay by chapter werewolf romance novels. I got sucked in. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to read for a little while because like I was so annoyed about the pay by chapter thing. And like, I was mad that I fell for it. Yeah. And so I just was like, I'm not doing this again. And then I actually had a miscarriage in 2021, and I was like deep in my feelings about that for a long period of time. And I was looking for something to distract me, and I was like, scrolling through Amazon, and an ad came up for the book Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. And I was like, I'm going to read this. And so I read it, and like, I was like, oh, like, apparently I do still like to read. I just like prefer more adult content. So, so that's where I'm at now. So
I have a similar way I started.
Yeah.
Like, you know those games, those like the chapter games, like
Yes.
chapters, or so I would play those where I would like tell a story, and like Jennifer L. Armentrout actually has a couple of her books in that. Obsidian is her like one like that is in there, and so that's what kickstarted it. And then I jumped on to Book Talk because, you know, pandemic, you're bored, you're just gonna scroll, and then that is how. So I was similar, doing the paid chapter thing, and then went over and I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. Now I have KU, and so I like whenever, I mean, I've been focusing on writing, but like from right around the beginning of the year of 2022 until around March of last year, I read, like, I was clearing a book like every 48 hours. Like, I was like just devouring them. And so Kindle Unlimited is like where it's at if you're, you know, on a budget.
Yeah. I haven't been able to like, because I need to like hold on to a book. So I haven't done the e-reader thing. I feel like I'm missing out on so much because like I have zero access to good books where I live. Like I live in a small province, and like all the newer books, there's none here at the library and stuff. And I'm like, I'm missing out on this whole new like pop culture that I really want to be part of, but I can't because I don't have the membership.
Yeah. No. Yeah, well, I mean, you could always try like Libby or something to
I was gonna say Libby.
Get yourself started to see if it's something that like you think you can do. Or I mean, KU does a lot of like free trials, so like you could always test it out. Because like the biggest reason why I like doing it on my phone, again, I have 3 very small children. A lot of my reading last year was done when my youngest was a newborn, and I was up, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would like get out my phone and like turn down the brightness as low as it would go and like sit there and swipe like I'm like while I'm like nursing my child.
Yeah, like technology is great for like convenience. I need to like the weight. Maybe if I like get like something that'll just hold like down, like gravity helps it, like some weights in it so it feels more real. There's air that blows like page smell at you. Like a whole sensory process.
Make a Kindle case out of like an old book, like hollow it out and like
that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, like I'm hiding
like,
juice, but it's
a
a Kindle
page and it's still a hole, so like you're still getting
That's what you do when you're like trying to hide like pills and stuff at school. You like hollow it out in a book.
It's like you're like smoking, like where you're just like using anything like as like a smoke, but you're not smoking.
Yeah. I'm just trying to read. I'm trying to quit paper books. Like enjoying society again.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All right. So, Sonia, the drink words.
Oh, see, I mean, this is why we need Jessica. She keeps us on track. The drink words are pod, Arden, and backpack.
Yes. So I'm reading the first chapter. I didn't know how smutty I could get with this, so it's just like, I'll just do the first one because, like, that's where, you know, I mean, that's where everything gets started, right? And so.
Oh, we should mute ourselves. If you're ready, we should.
No, I'm ready. Okay. I'm good.
All right.
So chapter 1 is from the perspective of Arden, and just like a little bit of background about this book. It is a I market it as a medium dark romantic fantasy, or romantasy as all the cool kids are calling it these days. And it is a why choose romance, and so it's Arden, and then she has 6 mates, and so this first chapter is from her perspective. Early June is my favorite time of year. For most of the afternoon, I've been perched on a park bench reading an epic fantasy romance novel. My e-reader is housed in a protective case sporting vibrant sunflowers, my favorite flowers. Where I live in the northeastern part of the United States, it's sunny and warm, which in my opinion is the perfect temperature for shorts and a t-shirt, my favorite attire when I'm not meeting with clients. I take a sip of my iced coffee and allow myself to savor the sweetness of the caramel. I close my eyes and release a contented sigh before returning to my book. I am just getting into an intense fight scene in my romance novel that has been building for a couple of chapters. The Fae in a neighboring kingdom has challenged the hero for his mate. I scan the pages ahead to see how long it'll take for the current chapter to conclude. There are a number of tasks I need to accomplish at home, and if I start the scene, I'll get invested. While I'm considering my options, a tennis ball flies by on the lawn ahead of me with a sweet golden retriever in pursuit. My fiancé Todd and I have been discussing getting a puppy soon, but it never seems like the right time. He's always on work trips or has to help his parents with a project. Every time I bring it up, he comes up with another excuse as to why he shouldn't. He's on a work trip right now and won't be home until tomorrow afternoon, and with so little time left before we leave for vacation, it makes sense for me to go home and finish packing. I tuck my e-reader away in my backpack, and I'll save the climax of the book for our drive to the beach. I'm staring at my phone, checking my emails, when I collide with a wall of solid muscle. A small squeak escapes me as I drink in the tall man with bright blue eyes and dark hair who is now staring down at me with a Cheshire grin. I inhale sharply at his striking features. The scent of bergamot and cinnamon assaults my senses. His hair falls in a way that looks messy, but odds are that he spent way too much time making it look that way. He's wearing workout clothes, black pants, and a once white shirt that's covered in my now smashed iced coffee. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm so sorry. I pull a napkin from my pocket and try in vain to clean the stain from his very strong abs. Stop it, Arden. I mentally scold myself as a blush creeps up into my cheeks. He firmly grabs my hand, which sends an unusual pulse of energy through me, causing my heart to stutter when I realize how close he's standing. It's fine. It's just a jogging shirt. I shouldn't have sneaked up on you like that. I just saw you sitting here while I was on my run, and I wanted to know if you wanted to have a drink with me tonight. He is a gorgeous man, and his smile is disarming. His sharp features all fit together just right. Towering over my 5'10" frame, he has to be at least 6'7". Even if he hadn't said so, he has runner written all over his body. My face feels flushed under his intense stare, and I realize that he's waiting for an answer to his proposition. Oh, I appreciate the offer, but I'm actually engaged. I was just on my way home to do some laundry because me, my fiancé, that is, are going to the beach this weekend, and I'm rambling. Ugh, that's too bad. Though I should have known. He pouts for a second. You're a stunning woman. My face turns an even brighter shade of red as I mutter, thank you. I wait for him to move out of my way so I can leave. He doesn't move. I clear my throat. Well, I guess I trail off as I skirt around him. He reaches out and grabs my hand again. Let me give you my number, in case you find yourself single anytime soon. There it is. The audacity you find in most attractive cisgendered men. No, thank you, I say firmly as I try to pull my hand away from his. I really need to go. His grip tightens to the point of being painful. I feel like you might regret that choice. His voice is cold, and he smirks at me with rage in his eyes. Fear flutters through my chest, and I glance around the park to see if anyone's watching. The guy with the dog has left, and there's no one else in sight. Let go, I demand, my voice not as strong as I would like. When he doesn't relent, I say it again more assertively. Let go, or I'll scream. He releases me and holds both hands up in surrender. No need to be dramatic, princess. We're just having a conversation. Psycho, I mutter as I briskly walk away. You have no idea, he retorts with a dark smile as he watches me. It's only a quarter of a mile from the park to the house I share with Todd. I walk with purpose, following my encounter with the dark-haired stranger. Despite him walking in the opposite direction from me, I can't shake the feeling that someone is watching me. When I get home, I lock the door behind me and set the alarm. Then I glance out the windows before pulling all of the curtains closed. I toss my bag and keys onto the kitchen counter and I send a text to Todd. June 10th, 4:06 p.m. Arden, I had a weird encounter at the park today. I'll tell you about it later, but for now I'm keeping the security alarm on. I grab our luggage from the guest room in the finished basement, drag it upstairs, and begin packing. Todd and I have been together since freshman year of undergrad, and I know him well enough to pack for him. Our relationship isn't terribly exciting, but after 10 years it is comfortable. He's a decent man who makes a good living as an architect. Unfortunately, that means he has to travel a lot. There isn't a huge demand for his kind of work in the suburbs. By the time I finish packing, it's around dinner time. We don't have much food in the house since we'll be gone for over a week. I go downstairs to get my wallet so that I can order some takeout, but when I reach the kitchen counter, I discover that my backpack is missing. I shake my head in confusion and walk around the kitchen and the foyer of the house. I'm a creature of habit, and there's no way I put my bag anywhere except for the kitchen counter or by the coat rack in the front hall. Just in case I was too shaken up from the park to think clearly, I check downstairs in the guest bedroom. It's not there either, so I head back up to our bedroom to look for it. When I turn on the light, my heart leaps in my chest. Laying on my side of the bed is a single sunflower and my backpack. I stare at my bed in disbelief. Even if I had left my backpack there, I did not bring a flower into the bedroom. While I'm trying to figure out what happened, the floorboard creaks in the hallway. I whip around and chuck the only projectile within reach at the doorway. My phone. Arden, what the fuck? Todd's frantic voice cuts through the air as my phone narrowly misses his face and hits the wall with a thud. Todd? Jesus Christ, what are you doing back already? I half shout, placing my hand over my wildly beating heart. What do you mean? It's Friday. What? No, it's not. It's Thursday. I look at my smartwatch. Friday, June 11th, 7 p.m. That isn't possible. I had a 10 a.m. client scheduled for this morning that I wouldn't have missed. I walk past Todd and grab my phone off the hallway floor. Thankfully, even though the glass screen protector is shattered, the screen itself is fine. I pull up my text message log, and the last text I had sent was the one about the alarm that I had sent to Todd. It was sent at 4:06 p.m. on Thursday, after that, I had several incoming texts from him. June 10th, 5:07 p.m. Todd. I'll call after this meeting and you can tell me about it. June 10th, 6:23. Why didn't you pick up your phone? June 10th, 8:14. I guess I'm guessing you fell asleep. Call me tomorrow. June 11th, 12:01. Why aren't you answering? Please pick up. June 11th, 5:17 p.m. Plane just landed. Be home in a couple of hours. I check my missed calls. I have several from Todd, 2 from Becca, and a few from the client I missed this morning. Becca was the one who had recommended that client to me since they're a law client of hers. She's going to kill me. I shove past Todd into the bedroom. It's exactly how it looked 20 minutes ago before the search for my backpack. The suitcases are packed at the foot of the made bed. The closet door is still open, and the only thing out of place is the sunflower. Todd gives me a curious look. What's going on with you? Why haven't you texted or called me back since yesterday afternoon? I don't understand, I say quietly as I sit down on the bed in a confused daze. What happened to your wrist? I spare a glance at my wrist in confusion. There's a bruise circling it and a fairly large cut. It's in the same spot that the man at the park had grabbed me. I start to feel sick. I had felt like someone was watching me the entire way home, but after I got inside, everything felt normal. Arden, will you please talk to me? Where did the sunflower come from? It's not from you, I ask. Once I realized you were home, I just assumed you left it there. I didn't put it there, he says. I feel like I'm going insane, I say absently while I replay the last few hours in my head, trying to figure out where the missing 24 hours went. If you're sleeping with someone else, I need to know. My anger snaps me out of my confused haze. What the fuck, Todd? Of course I'm not. You have a weird bruise on your wrist that looks like a handprint. There's a flower on the bed that you claim you didn't put there. You haven't returned any of my calls for over 24 hours, and you're acting really weird. I don't know what's going on. I must have fallen and hit my head or something. I came home and packed our suitcases for tomorrow, and the last thing I remember is looking for my backpack so I could order dinner. I feel around the back of my head for a lump or anything that would explain what happened, but there's nothing there. I glance at Todd, who's eyeing me suspiciously. Why did you need to set the security alarm? I take a deep breath and explain the situation at the park, leaving out some of the bigger details like how handsome the man was, or how he essentially threatened me when I rejected him. Why didn't you call me? I would have had Keith come over to keep you company until I was able to get home. Or if you were that worried, why didn't you call the cops? Todd says as he searches around the house as if he would find the man from the park lurking under our bed. Like they would do anything. Women are stalked every day and they do nothing. One incident doesn't scream danger. I consider everything that's happened and curse under my breath. I don't remember if I took my meds either. You know what happens if you don't take them, he says in exasperation. I know, but it's not like I could take them while I was unconscious or whatever. I reach for the pill bottle by the bed and swallow one down. I've been on this medication ever since I was little, and if I miss more than a couple of doses, I have seizures. It's been several years since I've had one, though. My mom and my grandma both had the same condition. Todd considers me as if he wants to pry further, and instead he says, "Look, I'm tired. Let's order a pizza and call it a night so we can hit the road early tomorrow." I grab the sunflower from the bed and toss it in the trash as I follow him downstairs to the kitchen to wait for our pizza to be delivered. That's the end of chapter 1.
Ooh,
Great.
So what inspired you to write this story?
I actually had a dream about it. I had a dream about the first chapter and a half of it, plus some stuff that I left out. And I'm actually, so the first chapter is obviously written from Arden's perspective, and then Zorvin, one of the male main characters, I have rewritten chapter 1 from his perspective that I'm releasing as a novella at some point, maybe later this year, but I'm focusing on getting the rest of the series completed before I worry about that. So I've already written that chapter from his perspective, but like there's more to it that I need to add. Yeah, so I had this dream about a woman who was married or dating or something. Like, it wasn't me. It was like one of those like kind of top down. It wasn't about like me. It was about somebody else. Like I was watching a movie kind of, which fun fact about me, I have aphantasia. So when I'm awake, I cannot picture things in my head at all. Like at all.
No mind's eye.
Yeah. At all. And so, but when I dream so vividly that it is just like watching a movie. And I remember my dreams really well, which like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain to people who don't have aphantasia, because like, I don't remember, like, I can't picture them in my head after the fact, but I remember what happened in them, I guess. So I had this dream that this woman was married or dating or whatever, and two guys show up in her house and insist that she belongs with them and all of this other stuff. And then in my dream, they drugged her. Then the boyfriend comes back and is like doesn't believe her that like these two men broke into the house and that like she like didn't actually participate in it. And then they started sending him like videos of what had happened. It was a really messed up dream. And I was like, I'm going to write that. And so
this is
it
how
turned
all great stories are told.
Yeah, no. So it turned into this, which the first chapter from his and her perspective, like they're both far less nefarious than the things that happened in my dream. Although I do tend to lean more towards like dark romance, like Haunting Adeline, that kind of a thing, like very dubious consent to the point of like, that probably wasn't
almost
even consent.
non-con. Like it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually writing a vampire story right now. Well, when I say writing right now, I mean, I have the first couple of chapters written in my phone because I had an idea for it. And then, but I'm focusing on other things right now because I have a million projects happening right now. And that one does have straight non-con in it in the first little bit. So, but yeah, that was the basic inspiration. I love fantasy. I love fantasy romance. I love Why Choose. And so last year I read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac by Peckham and Valenti. And I love that series. Like, that is my favorite reverse harem series of all time.
Like, God.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. Like,
and I adore it so much. And like I like Zodiac Academy. I love Ruthless Boys. And that was my introduction. Well, there was a scene in Zodiac Academy that was more my introduction with like sharing and stuff. But like Ruthless Boys was like my introduction to reverse harem, Why Choose stuff. And after that, I was like desperate for more fantasy romance. And so I went into this romance reader recommendation group. And I was like, hey, like I really want some more fantasy romance. I got a bunch of recommendations for this book called ACOTAR. And like, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I read it. and it was not as spicy as I wanted it to be. And it was so boring. And it was like, I don't like this. Like, I don't, but I was like, I gotta know what happens though. And so I kept reading, and like, because I had just come off of the high of Ruthless Boys, I kept expecting it to turn into a why choose situation, and it never did, obviously. And I was like salty about it. And so then when I had this dream, I was like, okay, I'm going to write this. I'm going to turn it into a why choose, and I'm going to make it the fantasy romance that I wish that ACOTAR had been. And like, so that's where I'm at.
No, that makes sense.
That. Yeah. Write the stories you want to read, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Romance is a genre that often gets scrutinized for its themes and portrayal of relationships. How do you navigate these expectations while staying true to your own storytelling?
I just tell the stories that I want to tell. I don't really
You're
care
like,
about anybody else. Like, when I first started, there was a part of me that like, so Katie Fraser is my pen name. It is not my given name. And a big part of that was because when I first started writing, I was like, I don't want anybody to know. And then like one of my street team members, Gina, hi Gina, if you watch this, she was like, who cares? Like, who cares? And like a big part of it, like, I didn't think that my mom would care. Like, she's like way on the liberal side of the spectrum of things. Like, I didn't think she'd care that much, but we do not have the type of relationship that like we talk about like sex or like things like that. And so I was like, my biggest thing is that I don't want like my pearl clutching aunts to like read this book and then go to my mom
going to church, like
yes. And like be like, Jean, do you know what your daughter is writing? Like,
yeah.
But then like I decided, I was like, you know what, whatever. And I sent my mom a text message, and I was like, and that's the other thing too, is that like I've had a good amount of success for a new indie author, and like I recognize that to the fullest, and like I never expected it to take off. And so as I started getting more and more like readers and like people who liked it and all of that, I was like, and then I was starting to think about doing events. Like I'm attending Books in Bourbon in October, and that's like in Kentucky. And so I was like, I'm going to have to talk to my mom about this. And so I sent her a text and I was like, hey, so I didn't really tell anybody because like it's romance and it's like really like, it's got a lot of sex in it. And like, I didn't want to talk about it with the family members, but it's actually getting kind of popular. And so now I'm like actually telling people about it, and just like, but yeah, we're never going to talk about this again. Okay, bye. And like,
just so you know, but don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, you see the cover, walk away. You did not see it.
Well, and then she was like, I want a signed copy for Christmas. That's the only thing I want for Christmas from you. And I was like,
oh.
So I
actually,
on the inside of the book, I wrote, Mom, we're never speaking about this again. I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But as far as everybody else is concerned, I don't care. I tend to get into like little arguments with people on the internet all the time. Like I get so annoyed with like the clean romance people. Like they irk the crap out of me because like I don't care that they write like clean romance. I don't care, but it's like when they're like, I write clean romance. It's like, oh, go away. Like
that doesn't do better than the rest of us. That like the filth, okay?
And they're so like, they have this like superiority complex about it. I'm just like, get over yourself. And then there's also like the people who are like, I don't like dark romance. And like, I was following, like, I was mutuals with this editor on TikTok who made this TikTok post and was like, we need to stop putting these like different things in, you know, romance books. And I was like, well, guess who I'm never having edit my book? And then I blocked her because like, way to alienate like
yeah
potential clients. Like
I got so annoyed. I was on TikTok and I was scrolling and someone was like made a thing. Now, okay, you don't have to like every trope, whatever. I get that, right? But someone's like pregnancy, like, and I was just like, okay, you don't have to like it, but other people do. So why are you dissing it? Like, I was just like, I don't understand. People get so worked up about like the taboo, like we shouldn't shame taboo. And I totally agree. I love taboo. But then put that forward with the same thing with pregnancy or miscommunication. Like, I don't like miscommunication either. You do not see me making TikToks going, eh. I was like, I'm so mad.
Like an 8-year-old making fun of like people on the playground.
Yeah. Like, I made a TikTok saying, like, you know, like, stop complaining about it. And then people would defend them why they don't like that genre. And I'm like, I don't care. It's good that you don't like it. But, like, stop defending it. Like, I give a shit.
Yeah. Like, actually, somebody sent me your TikTok about it, which cracks me up. Because they know, like, I put the pregnancy in every single one of every single one of them. And it's never like a surprise pregnancy, and it's very rarely, if ever, in the middle of the book. Like, it's almost always in an epilogue. Like, it's like, if you, because I
wouldn't
like
care if it's in the beginning of the book. Give it to me. She can start off pregnant. I don't care.
I like those books too, where like a woman starts off pregnant and then like, but it's like, you know, some douchebags, and then like he doesn't want to be involved. He's that's not my baby, and like whatever else. And then like she finds, you know, like some mafia boss who like is like, no, I'm gonna take care of you and that baby. Like, I love that.
This is my child now. It has nothing to do with the baby. It's the man that takes the responsibility of having a child. That's the turn on.
Exactly.
Like, or the breeding. Like the breeding. To get her pregnant. They're like filling her up. I'm like, yes, that is the sexiest thing ever. I just don't understand. But they're all like, oh, I have a daddy kink. No, you have a senior citizens kink, and that's different. All right. Same thing like daddies. They have to be an actual father. Like, anyway, that's my rant.
That's hilarious. No, I get it. Like, and that's like, I understand the people who don't want it. And so like, I do have a small amount of regret, because there's a part of me that like, I feel like I should have put in my content warnings for book 1 that the end of the series would eventually have that, but I'll probably just put it in the content warnings of the 3rd book, because it like, and I make it pretty clear that that's where it's going, like from book 1, like the one male main character, like his primary goal in life is producing an heir, and so like of course it's going to be in it, and I don't know how in detail it'll be whenever, you know, I don't even like, it might be in the last chapter or something, like I don't know. Like, it is something for me that it like, and a lot of people are like, you don't have to have a baby to have a happily ever after. And I'm like, okay, but that's what I need. And like, a big part of that comes from the fact that like, I struggled to get pregnant with my oldest for 4 years. And now I have 3 children, and like, things are great. But like, I did struggle with like the infertility for a long time. And so me writing that in, like, that's always been like happily ever after for me in my personal life and for, you know, my books. Like, and so I love that trope, and so I'm gonna write it into all of my books, and people can get better.
As you should. Like, you're a dedicated reader right now. I'm just saying, like, oh my goodness. So like, that was like a couple of their things. It's like, well, I can't have a baby, therefore I don't think that's the end. That should always be the ending. And I'm like, I get that. Yeah. Like, I struggled with it too, but my first kid came when I was like 18. Yeah. So that was a surprise. But then it took me 10 years to have my second kid. And in between that 10 years, I had like 6 miscarriages, like constantly. One after another.
Secondary infertility is wild. Like, it's, and I had a friend who had the same exact thing happen to her. She had like 6 or 7 miscarriages, and then, you know, her relationship started falling apart because like of all the trauma that the 2 of them had been through. And then she started seeing somebody else, and she got pregnant, and it was viable. And like, just like, Jesus Christ, like, I can't even imagine like the trauma that like you go through with that. And like, and it is, and that's the thing too, is that like secondary infertility is just as valid. And of course, like, and but like there are so many people out there, like it's 1 in 4 have a miscarriage, 1 in 8 have infertility issues. And so I do really appreciate that there are a lot of books out there that are now starting to kind of get away from not only requiring, you know, a baby for a happily ever after, but also getting away from requiring marriage for a happily ever after, because there are some people who don't want that. And like, I love that there's that representation out there, because so many people do suffer with it. And so I do really like that, but I also like, that's not the type of person that I am. And so I love the breeding part of like the feral primal part of like that in stories. And so, and there are a lot of people who they love the breeding portion but not the result of the breeding, and so they're like, I want a book with breeding but no pregnancy, and I'm like, God, good luck.
I want that in real life. I want the breeding, no pregnancy in real life.
There's consequences. That's why I have so many kids. Like, it's not a good, it's one of the worst things to have, Kate.
It really
do not recommend.
Life, don't have that in real life, man. Don't.
Yeah, no. It's not better on paper. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's my husband and I, like I said, we like my youngest just turned a year at the beginning of the year. And like, we're like, we can have one more. Like,
it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
I'm the little devil on your shoulder. I'm telling you, don't do it. Walk away. No. Walk away. Like that vacation when you're 50. You're not going to have that if you have kids at 35. Don't do it. Walk away.
Well, that's the thing, though. I was 33 when I had the last one. So, I mean, I'm done for. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
it's done.
No that feeling.
Yeah. Like, I have, like, for all, like, teenager, young adult, like, the mistakes are made having them so close together at the beginning means you have to raise so many teenagers at the same time.
And so many toddlers at the same time.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's been one struggle after another. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's intense.
My oldest two are only 16 and a half months apart. And like, I feel like I because it took me so long to get pregnant the first time, I wasn't going to wait after that.
Yeah,
like I was like, no, we got to try. Well, I was like, what if it takes another 4 years? And then I got pregnant the month that we started trying. I was like, oh my God. And so
I just needed that one to like break the cycle.
Yeah. So it was just like, it was awful. And I think a part of the issue is that they're so close in age that they want all of the same things. And I'm like, man, I really wish that I had a few more years to like put between them so that they didn't care about the same toys.
I'm done with Paw Patrol. I need something else.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, that was so off topic. I am so sorry.
That's on brand.
I jumped in on that, okay?
Well, and you said that your person who keeps us on track isn't here, and I was like, oh God, this is going to go off the rails so fast.
I'm the one that keeps, like, conversation flowing on, like, that, like, brand, but, no, that's, like, a very heated topic with me at my current moment. So, like, I had to jump in on that one. We talked about going to Books and Bourbon. Who are you excited to see there? Because we're going.
I'm excited to see everyone. No, actually, okay, so there is a group of us. We have a Discord that I started right at the beginning of like my TikTok author journey. And there's a handful of us that are going. Myself, Gina, who's a part of my street team. I've asked her to pronounce her last name for me like a million times. I'm not even gonna try because I'll mess it up. And then N Slater and Siri Pielski and Michaelan Rose. So there's the 5 of us like who like we're all in a Discord together, and there are other people in our Discord who aren't going. And then Senel Meyer is waitlisted for that. And this will be the first time that I'm meeting any of them. And I'll get to see them all in person, like at the same time. And I'm so freaking excited. there's a few other people who are going, and I am so bad at names. Like,
Me too.
unless I've like interacted with you like in this setting, or like I do TikTok live, so like if I hear you talking or like see you talking, it's easier for me for some reason. But like just to see people like going through my I follow so many, like I can't remember all 2,000 people that I'm following on TikTok.
You're like, oh no, I have no idea who you are, and like all their stories blend together, like they're one account. Yeah, like
and that's like, and I'm terrible with author names, and you would think that I would try harder because like I am an author, but like one of my favorite series of all time, it's a Why Choose Mafia wolf shifter romance, and it's so freaking good. And it's the Black Fang Barons series. I literally could not tell you right this second who wrote those books. Like I can.
I was gonna say, do you know the author though?
I know, like Domry's like, that's right up my alley. I need it.
It's so good. The first book in that series is called Fawn, and I will go look at. Oh, my phone is literally right here.
There
like,
why
do we have technology if we're not going to use it, right? But it is literally like, imagine like Den of Vipers, but make them wolf shifters and make it a 3-part series. And it is so stinking good. I love it so much, and it's so underrated. Like there are a bunch of books that get so much like love out there. I know. Well, the fact that it's written by 2 people might have something to do with why it's so hard for me to remember.
Their fault.
Elena Jaden and Marie Robinson. Okay. So, and it is on KU, and I know I keep repeating myself, but it is so freaking good. Like that was like a part of like my, right after I discovered, like every time I talk about Why Choose and like discovering Why Choose, that like I wasn't aware that was something a person could do sound plays in my head. Because like, I'm like, wait, I can read a book where there's like more than one partner.
Multiple?
Like,
yeah. I don't have to have one man. I can have 3 that spoil me and fulfill my needs.
That's like the goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's the problem. The problem is, it's when like that's like the goal, but then you also have the breeder kink. You're like, I don't know who the dad is. You know, like it's not good. It's not good.
They're all the daddy. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
But that one's super good. Like it's about this girl who is a stripper, and
I like this already.
Yes, her boyfriend is a piece of trash, and that's one of my favorite tropes too, is like girls with shitty guy and then like is like saved from him like later on. I tend to do that in a lot of my stories. Like even if it's just something as simple. So Frosted, I'm so all over the place. I'm so sorry. I have severely unmedicated.
That's exactly how every episode we do is exactly like this. There's never a straight line. It's all like the Jeremy Baramy of conversation. Yeah. Like it's
all right, let me finish that one train of thought first, and then I will come back to Frosted Nightmares. So she has this really shitty boyfriend, and he's like making her continue to strip because like he can't get a real job. And by can't, I mean won't. And then he fails to like make enough money to pay back to these mob bosses for like something that he owes them, drugs or something, I don't know. And and this is the thing too, is that like my memory is so bad that like I remember the bullet points but not quite how they got there. So anyway, he offers his girlfriend to them as payment for a weekend or something, and then they're like, no, we're keeping her for a month, and then, you know, at the end of the month, if she decides not to go back with you, then she gets to keep all the money. And so like it's like this whole thing, it's so freaking good.
Day one I'd be like, I'm leaving him, I will stay with you guys, give me the money.
Oh my
Day
god.
Like, me too. I don't have to wait. Like, you win, guys. You win. Like, we don't even have to take me anywhere. Finish this transaction right now.
Yes.
Like,
we're done.
I'm yours.
Yeah.
But it's so good. And so I love that. But yes, I love that trope of like girls with shitty guy, and like even if it's something super simple, like he's just inattentive. Like I wrote Frosted Nightmares. I bit off way more than I could chew, and I have regrets. My plan for this year was to release one novella a month between January and November. I made it to February. So, I just got really behind because I also have 3 full-length books that I'm trying to release this year. And so, yeah, it was a mess. Frosted Nightmares I came out with in January, which is a kind of a retelling of Pitch Black and Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians, but like age them up because like I don't write like underage.
Yeah.
So the main female character in that, she was dating this guy, and he just like kept like no showing on dates, or he would show up way late and like not offer any apologies, and like so she breaks up with him and then like gets kidnapped, and so it's a whole thing. Unrelated. They have nothing to do with each other. But like she breaks up with him and like 5 minutes later she gets kidnapped. So
It wasn't his fault, but at the same time, let's just blame him anyway. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I have that in Bound by Chance. Todd is a piece of, and that's the other thing too, is that I always name like my garbage like boyfriends in the beginning of something really stupid.
Like Todd, Chad, Mike.
Sorry to all the Todds out there.
Fucking Mike.
Yeah.
Kyle.
And then my vampire romance that I'm hoping to release next year that I was talking about a little bit. It's another situation, like she walks in on him cheating and then is like, I'm gonna go get drunk, and then find some random guy at the bar. And so I do that in a lot of my books because I love that trope so much. Like, just because like there are so many trash humans out there, like especially men.
It's realistic.
Who, like,
Yeah.
You
actually,
don't find Prince Charming until you kiss a couple frogs. It's just, that's how it is.
Exactly. And I was dating this guy for like 2 years who was like very much a Todd. And like I described Todd in like the next chapter. I describe him as thinking that garlic is spicy because like he's just like such a bland human. And like so it's like I dated a guy like that, and I just and like he and his family, like they very much felt like I would, like with my black lipstick and purple hair, like thought that I was too much, and like you can take your too much and shove it up your ass. And like really like kind of dampened my personality a little bit, and that kind of happens to Arden too, where like, well, and then like I kind of made him kind of cool though. Like, I mean, he's still shitty, like that doesn't change, but like it's kind of fun because I love the show Supernatural, but he's kind of like, he's more like a Dean, like, or like a like a Sam, like he's out there hunting these supernatural things. And so spoiler alert. And but like Arden didn't know about it, and so that's why she makes the comment like, no, like you have the wrong person, like he wears khakis and thinks that garlic is spicy. Like you cannot be talking about my boyfriend and fiance, whatever. So yeah, I had something else that I was gonna say, but I got distracted by myself. So
it happens.
Do you have any more questions?
I do not. I do want to say thank you so much, and I am super excited to meet you in person in October.
I'm super excited too.
I'm so stoked. Like it's gonna be, I think you guys are actually, I think Nick and Slater, I think she said that she's doing an interview with you guys too.
Thursday.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I was supposed to do it last week, but one of them had COVID. And I was like, that's funny because they offered me either the 17th or the 24th, but like I didn't have my shit together, so I didn't know what to tell them.
No, it all got messed up. I got sick because my kid got sick and obviously gave it to me. And then like the whole week. I had to reschedule like everyone. I was like, okay,
like
we're going back
so
down the
many. Yeah, we're
so
like,
many.
oh.
God.
It was bad. I was like, oh God, these people are gonna hate me because I'm like,
No.
look, I know like you're supposed to be on, but I'm dying over here. So can
Yeah.
we switch you to next week if I'm still alive? And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, like we'll meet you guys in October, and like we'll be like, hate, like
Yeah. They'll be like,
Yeah.
that fucking
roast
podcast.
toast. Yeah.
Or she was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, no, oh my, no, I get it because I have 2 little plague demons myself. So, like, I mean, preschool germs are so disgusting, and like, we've literally been sick more than not since September. So, I 100, like, we had COVID, we had the flu. Like, my one kid, this is so disgusting, and I'm so sorry, but I have to tell you, we thought he had pink eye because he got this like infection that was like coming out of his eyes. Like it was, it was so disgusting. And he like got a lot of special treatment because he, you know, he was sick. And now like every once in a while, like if he feels like he needs a little bit, he's like, but I still have pink eye. And I'm like, no, you don't.
I got
little guy.
I have the pink eye.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping that none of us are ill come October because that would be a huge bummer. But
I will take all the drugs and get on the plane so I can get there. Yeah. Like I will drug myself up so hard and throw myself on that plane. I do not care.
No.
Everybody's sick, like or like everybody's going with a cold anyway.
Yeah.
You're just like,
oh yeah,
this is too bad, guys. Like snot everywhere.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. That's what we.
I used to do like Comic-Cons and stuff like before I had my children and life got too crazy to do any of that. And like we would always come down with what we called con crud afterwards because everybody just brings all of their germs. Like it's so disgusting. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll love it. It'll be fun. It'll be it'll be such a good time. So but thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. Where can we find you and your books?
Oh yeah, that's important. So all of my books are on KU. Like I said, I have 3 novellas. I have Once Upon a Krampus. It is very short. It's only 60 pages. It is a Krampus love novella, and it subverts expectations. It is on KU. Kindle Unlimited. I will be getting paperbacks of that and my other 2 novellas at some point. Bound by Chance is on KU. It's the first in a 3-part series, and then, like I said, I have a novella coming out with some from the guys' perspectives of situations where they weren't with Arden at the time. And then I'm not going to make it a full other book. I may add in like a special edition. I may add some of that stuff like in a hardcover, but I don't know. And so that's on KU. It is in paperback. Oh, and this is something else that like I should mention. I uploaded the wrong manuscript to KU and lost the correct manuscript. I went through and painstakingly edited that document up and down and sideways, and it got lost somewhere, and I don't know, it's out in the ether somewhere and I don't know where it is. And so the manuscript that is on KU is mostly complete and mostly edited, but it is missing.
It's the one I wanted, but it's the one you got.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with my paperbacks too. Right now, I need to go through and edit, and then have my one friend does my formatting for me, and get those re-uploaded because like it's not really, it's only missing one important thing, and it's literally only 2 paragraphs, but it is so important. And like the fact that it's not there is like infuriating to me. So just as a heads up to that. And whenever I add it into the Kindle version, if you purchased the ebook version, it should tell you that it was updated. And then I'll put an announcement out that that's on there too, but like it's literally just anyway. And then I have 2 other ones. Nocturnal Valentines just came out yesterday, and that one is a stalker shifter romance. And when I started it, I had the intentions of it being just like a really short little cute stalker romance. And then my characters were like, no, this needs to be longer. So it was 30,000 words, and it's getting a part 2. And then I have Frosted Nightmares, which is the Pitch Black and Jack Frost one that I was talking about. It is very loosely based on them. Like, it's got like Pitch is like a shadow daddy, and because I write a lot of monster romance. And then Jack does have his name isn't Jack in the book, but because I mean, copyright and stuff.
Right.
Can't.
Yeah. You know what? Disney's coming at you.
Yeah, it is extremely loosely based on it, because like the Pitch Black character is like a mob boss, and but it only hints at that because it's more focused on the romance part of it. But yeah, so they're all on KU. And I have a Facebook group, which is Katie Fraser Readers, that you can join. I put all of my ARC opportunities up there. And I'm doing book boxes for Bound by Chance, and I'll be doing ones for Nocturnal Valentines as well. And once I get those together, I'll be posting about it on there. And I am on TikTok. I think it's like tiktok.com/author Katie Fraser on there. And I just post I do post updates on there, but it's like mostly silly stuff. Like, it's not, it's short form content. Like, it's not meant to be anything. Oh, but I do on Fridays have a TikTok live where I interview other indie authors about their writing process, and how they got to where they are, and what books they have coming out, and all of that kind of stuff. So if you want to check that out, it's called Why Would You Write That? And I will create a separate TikTok for that at some point, but for right now I'm just hosting it on my own because of their limitations with TikTok Live. So
yeah.
But yeah, so
needing 1,000
to have you on here. Honestly, like, I'm so excited to see you in October, and we're gonna have our own clique. I don't care. I'm gonna have my own little group.
It's gonna be so fun. And that's like, I was like, I wonder if we can like email Books and Bourbon and like ask them to put like our group of friends like close to each other. Because like a couple of us are bringing our husbands, and like I'm like, I can, send my husband over to the booths of people who aren't bringing their partners, and like be like, okay, they have to go to the bathroom, so you need to go watch their shit for them. Gopher.
Since I'm going as an influencer, I don't really have a booth. So like, just use me. Just get me to bounce around. I'll do it.
How are they doing that then if you don't have a table or a booth or whatever?
I don't know. It's just like I just show up and like I just walk around. I don't know. I'm
there might be an actual like you probably got something and you just missed it completely.
No,
you have like a little stand.
The table. And I was like, I don't want that. I'm just gonna walk around. I don't give a shit. I want to just talk to authors. That's all.
yeah. You're just like, no, I doing no work. I'm just gonna show up.
I'm doing work for others. I'm not gonna
Oh my god. You should do like a Billy on the street. Oh my god, my neck just cracked. You should do like a Billy on the streets kind of thing where you go around and just like
that's
rapid fire.
Yes. We'll have like topics. That's like a sandwich board. Yeah, that's
Oh my god, that's amazing.
We're just gonna
interview. Yeah. Tell us one thing.
Bite-sized interviews with
person. Yeah.
I love that.
It'll be so much fun.
It will be.
All right.
I'm so excited.
I think this concludes our episode, and thank you again for joining us.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to see you in October.
Yes, I'm so stoked.
Yes, thank you so much. And then one last thank you to our VIP Patreon, Stephanie Hurst. Have a good night, guys.
Yep, you too.
Good night.
Bye.